24 hours. That is all the time that separated the most shocking alliance in professional wrestling history, Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar standing side by side to destroy Oba Femi and Jacob Fatu on the go-home Raw, from the most savage, most personal, most comprehensively violent full match that Raw has hosted in the post-WrestleMania period. 24 hours between the alliance that nobody predicted and the collision that the alliance made inevitable. 24 hours between the image of Lesnar and Roman standing together over Femi's destruction and Oba Femi walking back into that Raw ring with everything the parking lot assault and the Clash in Italy result and the go-home Raw ambush had deposited in his competitive motivation and his personal fury. Brock Lesnar vs. Oba Femi. Full match. On Raw. May 26, 2026. And if you missed it, if you were not watching when these two men did what they did to each other and to the concept of Monday Night Raw as a controlled professional wrestling broadcast, then this breakdown is the most important video WWE Newsroom has produced this week. Because what happened on May 26th was not just a match result or a program development or a go-home show moment with Clash in Italy implications. It was a statement from both men about what this blood feud actually is and what it is going to produce when Italy finally provides the definitive stage for its most extreme expression. Welcome to WWE Newsroom, and the most brutal Raw match of 2026 just happened. Let us break it down. Quick favor before we get into it, if you enjoy this kind of content, please smash that like button and hit subscribe. Over 98% of viewers watch without subscribing. It's totally free for you, but it means the world to us and helps the channel grow. Already subscribed? You are absolutely brilliant, thank you so much. Right then, let's get into it. Let us begin with why this match was happening at all. Because a full Brock Lesnar vs. Oba Femi match on Raw, not a confrontation segment, not a contract signing chaos, not a backstage assault or a parking lot blood feud development, but an actual, bell-rung, referee-supervised, full competitive match is not the expected format for a go-home period program between two men whose most significant encounter is scheduled for a premium live event. The conventional booking wisdom is clear and consistent across decades of WWE programming. You protect the premium live event match. You do not give away the competitive resolution on free television in the days before the pay-per-view. You give the audience confrontations, escalations, physical exchanges that advance the narrative, but not the match itself. Not the full competitive expression of a rivalry that has been building across parking lots and loading docks and windshields and hospitalization reports and the entirety of the most viscerally compelling blood feud that WWE's 2026 programming has produced. And yet here it is. Lesnar vs. Femi. Full match. Raw. May 26th. The day after the go-home show. Less than a week before Clash in Italy. The fact that this match happened at all is the first and most important statement of the evening. Because it tells you something specific about where both men's competitive priorities and competitive states are heading into Clash in Italy. They are not waiting. Neither of them, not the Beast incarnate with his Clash in Italy victory and his parking lot laceration and his 24-year career's worth of competitive intelligence, and not the ruler with his morning weaponized and his Italy loss and his Raw destruction at the hands of Lesnar and Roman combined, is interested in the managed, institutionally appropriate, premium live event protecting competitive distance that the conventional booking wisdom recommends. They want it now. On Raw. With the Clash in Italy context providing the backdrop rather than the container. And whoever authorized this match, whoever decided that the most appropriate pre-Italy programming for the Lesnar and Femi blood feud was a full competitive encounter on Monday Night Raw, understood that this specific rivalry, at this specific temperature, with this specific accumulation of personal stakes behind it, was beyond the management of conventional booking wisdom. The match's opening exchanges told the story of everything that has happened between these two men since the parking lot assault. Not the polished, technically precise, athletically showcase quality of two performers establishing their credentials in the early minutes of a featured match. The raw, immediate, absolutely uncontrolled aggression of two people for whom the bells ring was less a signal to begin competition and more a formal permission to do what they have been wanting to do to each other since the windshield shattered. Femi's fury heading into this match was the most visually complete expression of the ruler's competitive identity that Monday Night Raw has hosted since the Open Challenges began in the post-WrestleMania period. The composed, 4 words and a dropped microphone Oba Femi, the one who sat with Kathy Kelly and said he was sad about the retirement, the one who issued open challenges with the cold authority of someone whose competitive certainty is absolute, that Femi was not the Femi who walked to the Raw ring on May 26. This Femi was carrying the parking lot, the hospitalization, the Italy loss, the go-home Raw combined destruction where Lesnar and Roman stood together over his body, the weaponized morning of his Kathy Kelly interviews emotional honesty, the retirement violation that converted his most publicly genuine moment of competitive feeling into the vulnerability that the Raw ambush exploited. All of it visible in the opening moments of the match's engagement, not in recklessness. Not in the undisciplined aggression of a competitor who has let emotion override competitive intelligence, but in the specific, focused, laser-targeted intensity of someone who knows exactly what they want to do and is fully, completely, holding nothing back committed to doing it. Suplex City arrived early. Because of course it did. This is Brock Lesnar on Raw with genuine competitive motivation and a full match's worth of time to deploy the arsenal that 24 years of competitive excellence has refined to its most effective expression. The German suplexes, delivered with the rhythmic, relentless, accumulated damage philosophy that has made Suplex City one of professional wrestling's most immediately recognizable competitive concepts. Found Oba Femi in the specific place that the clash in Italy result suggested they would find him. Absorbing them. Standing back up. Not immediately, not with the supernatural resilience of someone who processes German suplexes as inconsequential stimuli, but absorbing them with the specific, grudging, cost-acknowledged resilience of someone who has already proven in 2 previous encounters that Suplex City has a ceiling with his name on it and who arrives at every subsequent suplex with the foundational knowledge that the move will not permanently resolve the competitive situation in Lesnar's favor. That knowledge, Femi's specific, experientially earned certainty that the suplexes will land and hurt and accumulate damage and still not be sufficient, is the most important individual competitive quality he brings to every exchange with Lesnar. It converts what should be a linear Suplex City beatdown into a question. Each suplex asking, is this the one that finally exceeds the limit? And Femi's competitive identity answering, not yet. The crowd on Raw responding to each Femi recovery from successive suplexes with increasing volume and increasing investment, the audience feeling, through the match's physical storytelling, exactly what the competitive dynamic between these 2 men is and why it produces results that neither conventional wisdom nor standard booking logic can reliably predict. The F5. It had to arrive. Every Brock Lesnar match of consequence builds towards the F5 as the definitive competitive statement, the move that ends things, that has ended more things across more significant matches than any other single offensive sequence in the modern era. On Raw, with Clash in Italy less than a week away, the F5 carries the additional weight of its Clash in Italy history, the WrestleMania 42 version that Femi countered into the retirement sequence, the Italy version that Lesnar landed differently and that produced the result nobody predicted. The specific circumstances of the F5's Raw delivery. Whether Femi countered again, survived it, or found himself in the position of having to fight from underneath in the match's most dangerous competitive moment is the detail that the match's narrative significance most depends on. Because the F5's outcome in this specific Raw encounter is the data point that the Clash in Italy analytical picture cannot be complete without. If Femi countered or survived, the ruler reasserts the competitive ceiling that Italy's result had called into question. If Lesnar connected and the match's resolution followed, Brock Lesnar's Clash in Italy credentials arrive with the most compelling possible Raw validation, and the Blood feud's next chapter carries the productive competitive uncertainty that a genuine 50-50 split between the competitors produces. The fall from grace. The move that retired Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 42. The specific, signature, carrying the full weight of their rivalry's most significant moment finishing sequence that Oba Femi has built his post-WrestleMania competitive identity around. In a full Raw match, in the Blood feud's most recent pre-Clash in Italy competitive expression. The fall from grace's appearance is not just a match moment. It is the most direct possible connection between May 26th's Raw and the WrestleMania 42 moment that started everything: the boots in the ring, the spotlight, the retirement gesture, the emotional honesty of the Kathy Kelly interview, all of it arriving in the present through the specific physical language of the move that produced it all. Whether the fall from grace connects with the full, definitive authority of a finishing move at a premium live event, or whether Lesnar's Italy-refined game plan includes the specific preparation for countering or avoiding the sequence that ended his WrestleMania appearance, is the competitive question that the match's most significant individual moment answers. The result. And whatever specific 3-count or no contest or outside interference conclusion the May 26th Raw produced, the competitive information it provides is the most significant individual data point in the Clash in Italy analytical picture. If Femi wins on Raw, the ruler goes to Italy with the momentum of a Raw victory over the man he is scheduled to fight at the premium live event. The Clash in Italy result remains genuinely uncertain because the Raw win demonstrates competitive superiority in a full match environment, but the Italy stipulation and environment and the specific circumstances of a premium live event create conditions distinct from Raw's competitive framework. If Lesnar wins on Raw, the Beast goes to Italy with consecutive victories over the ruler. The series now tilts in Lesnar's favor in a way that the Clash in Italy analytical picture has never previously contained. And Oba Femi approaches the premium live event carrying the specific, productive, motivation-generating weight of 2 consecutive losses to the same opponent, the first time in his main roster career that consecutive significant defeats have been part of his competitive record. If the match ends inconclusively, through Roman's interference, through first family involvement, through the outside-the-ring chaos that the go-home period's alliance between Lesnar and Roman makes available as a narrative tool, the Clash in Italy match arrives with competitive uncertainty fully intact and with the additional dimension of the alliance's stability being the most interesting unresolved question heading into Italy. Every version of the May 26th Raw result produces the most compelling possible Clash in Italy context. Not because WWE has necessarily engineered each version with equal precision, but because the specific, genuine, completely authentic competitive chemistry between Brock Lesnar and Oba Femi is the kind that produces compelling television regardless of the result. That is the mark of a blood feud operating at its maximum dramatic capacity. The outcome matters enormously. And the match is extraordinary regardless of what it is. Brock Lesnar vs. Oba Femi on Raw. Full match. May 26, 2026. Less than a week before Clash in Italy. The parking lot and the windshield and the hospitalization and the Italy result and the go-home Raw alliance, all of it distilled into a Monday Night Raw main event that the blood feud produced not because the booking called for it but because neither man was willing to wait. The Beast and the Ruler. On Raw. Before Italy. And the most personal and the most savage chapter of their extraordinary rivalry has just written its most compelling pre-premium live event statement. Clash in Italy is here. And after everything May 26th produced, whatever the result, whatever the finish, whatever the specific image that Raw ended on, the blood feud has never been more real or more genuinely, completely unmissable. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the next one.